like you lost another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Wrestling Revival Podcast. I am your host, Cyb3rYeti. Over here to the other side of me, Mr. DJ Notorious, Mr. I got to see the doctor and all this other bullshit. Lucky ass. Anyway, hey, you're muted, sir.
Somebody.
There you go.
Mad. Why are you so mad?
I ain't mad. I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
A little bitter.
All right, guys. So again, welcome to another episode. We've got quite a few things to go over today. But before we jump into that and get into all of the news that's currently been going on the last couple days, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and send a huge shout out to our sponsor, ultisubs.com. When you go over there, you pick up some of your favorite products, some of your favorite flavors, some of the new shakers, even the big ass metal shakers. You know, you go there, make sure you use the discount code Revival Army to get 10% off your purchase. So do that. It supports us. It helps us improve the stream, and also it's actually really good. It's better than that other crap you can get from other places that people like to promote, the Tubby or Dubby or Flubby or whatever the hell they want to call themselves these days. Also, too, if you want to support us, if you want to show that you are part of the Wrestling Revival, make sure you pick up some merch. We've got the hashtag Notorious approved.
Pretorious.
God damn it. Hey, okay, guys, before I finish up this spiel, I just got to tell you, I had a wisdom tooth pulled earlier today. I'm still feeling a little good off of that. I'm on some medication, so I do apologize about that. But anyway, talking about the merch again, hashtag Notorious approved, living rent free in your head, and also the official The Wrestling Revival podcast shirt. Make sure you pick that up. You're going to want to go to bonfire.com/store/The Wrestling Revival. All the money that we pick up from that is going to go not only to the podcast to help us improve and grow, but it's also going to go to maybe some prizes toward the end of the year, maybe some prizes in the new season, possibly bringing in some guests. You know, it can go to a number of things. So the money that you spend here is going to go back into the podcast and is going to help us improve everything as a whole. Now that we've gotten all the bills paid, we've talked to everybody. First thing I want to touch on before we jump into the AEW Dynamite recap, I want to go ahead and touch back on the Tuesday Night Wars that happened last Tuesday. The numbers have officially come out, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm sure Notorious is a little bit surprised about this as well. AEW lost. 609K to 921K. I mean, first and foremost, I'm a little surprised because, you know, I honestly thought, me as someone who leans a little bit more toward WWE than most of the time, I didn't think it was a good show. But according to viewers, I mean, in the age demographic, it was a good show to them, apparently. But also, too, you got to know, whenever it comes to WWE and they want to try to outdo somebody, what are they going to do? This is remnant of Vince McMahon. He's going to call in his legends. He's going to call in the people that will draw eyes to it. Your John Cena's, your Paul Heyman's, your Undertakers, your Cody Rhodes. Gonna pull them all in. It didn't really make any sense, but pulled them in anyway. It pulled enough eyes away from AEW, which I'm going to be honest, I feel like AEW had the better show that Tuesday than NXT. I felt like it was an episode of Friday Night SmackDown just aired on the NXT brand. I felt like it was one of those main shows that happened with. So I was a little surprised. I'm sure DJ has his opinion about how that went, but to be honest, I think we're pretty much in the same boat. I know a Yankee and an Astro don't get along very much, and I know we like to talk shit, and we know we don't like to agree on stuff. But I have a feeling me and him are going to actually agree on this. So DJ, what do you think about the whole numbers in regards to the ratings and the situation from the NXT versus AEW Tuesday Night War?
To be honest with you, I'm not surprised. It clearly showed, in my opinion, that the WWE was desperate. They wanted to make sure they beat AEW because remember the last time that NXT and AEW went against each other, NXT was mopped all over the floor. It wasn't even a contest. That's the reason why NXT is now on Tuesday nights, if you guys don't remember, because they was getting beat every single week. If y'all don't remember, look back during the Crayola era of NXT.
Oh, the Crayola era.
Yes, the
No.
Crayola era. Yes, I did. I brought it back up for y'all. But to be honest with you, with the whole numbers and everything, I'm not surprised. You know, WWE stands are gullible. Yeah, I said it. They're gullible. They hear their legend is back. John Cena with his like 400 million never give up shirt, and everybody's jamming in that 500 people arena. You know, I expect
and his big ass bald spot on his head. That's why he wears that damn cap all the damn time.
Well, you know, he can't get away with it when, you know, it's the Fast and Furious franchise, but nonetheless, he shows it when he's on WWE programming. I mean, just think about it for a second. When was ever John Cena on an NXT programming?
If I'm not mistaken, I think there was one other time, and that was back in like the early days of NXT, back when they were transitioning it from Florida Championship Wrestling to NXT. So I think that was the last time we saw him on the NXT brand.
And how many decades was that?
That was back when you had Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Neville all on the same roster
No,
down there
definitely.
in NXT.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not surprised. They stacked the deck. They did promote it a lot, you know, during their premium live event weekend, which was Fastlane. But look at it here. We
Premium
had
live event.
Right. You had The Undertaker, you had Paul Heyman, you had John Cena. Was that going to continue happening every single week? No. It didn't happen this past week. And what happened? NXT wasn't even trending on social media. So just goes to show you this was just planned to take down AEW. Now they're going to feel every time they want to do a war that they could just stack the deck. It doesn't look good because, excuse me, I will agree with the Houston Astro over there. So, yeah, it wasn't needed. It wasn't the best wrestling show that night. That clearly went to Dynamite. So if you were just looking for, you know, a return back in time to your favorite legends, you watched NXT. If you wanted professional wrestling, you went with AEW last week. So I'm not surprised. The stand stacked the deck, and hey, let's see how they look when next week's ratings come out and how NXT did without, you know, the Avengers of the main roster coming together.
Okay. There is one other thing I want to touch on before we jump into AEW, because this is going to take AEW is going to take a little while, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about outside of Dynamite, because they actually had something going on with their music, but we'll touch on that a little later. But there's something I want to touch on here for just a minute. As most of y'all know, y'all probably saw on social media earlier this week, we saw that TKO has officially decided to actually hand over creative control to Paul Levesque. This was a recent development within the last week. Pretty much, this is what I think Vince was thinking in his head. the people from the UFC, the owners, he thought by selling to them his controlling interest of WWE, he thought that that was going to be his golden ticket back into the head of creative spot without him being the owner and sliding himself in himself, because then he would have gotten a lot of pushback. He would have gotten a lot of blowback for it. So he thought, oh, well, I'll give control to these people, and then they'll slot me back in, and then we'll continue on down the road. Well, when your so-called buddy that is the head of TKO flat out throws you under the bus and says that the ratings dropped as soon as the idea came around that he might be back in charge of creative, he says the reason the ratings took that downfall was because they were nervous that he was taking back over as creative, and also too they were worried that he was going to put out the crappy product he was putting out before the merger. So what did his best friend do? Nope, you're not doing that. Triple H, you're doing it. You're full time. You're in charge. You're gonna do creative from now on. Now, is that going to stay that way? I don't know, but to be honest, if you look at this past Monday night Raw, this had Triple H written all over it. It had Triple H written all over it. The best case, Gunther versus God, I forgot his name already.
Bronson Reed.
Yes, I keep on wanting to call him his previous name. My bad. But Bronson Reed, that was flat out meat slapping meat. You would think that would be something Vince McMahon came up with, but it wasn't. And all I've got to say is, if this is the trend we're going to be on, going from the Vince McMahon era to the Paul Levesque era of how he's going to do the storylines, it's going to be very interesting to see where the landscape is in 6 months or a year, or how it's going to be between now and WrestleMania. So, guys, let us know what you think. I mean, what do you think about Triple H being handed control of creative by the TKO board over Vince McMahon? Let us know and tag us on all of our socials at the Wrestling Revival Podcast on Instagram and on X at TWRP_official. Go ahead and hit us up. Let us know what you think, because trust me, we want to hear your opinions and we want to know what you think.
Well, I mean, a lot of it, I don't know if we're going to say first, watch out for them in 6 months or whatever, because we've kind of been through this before with Paul Levesque coming in and saving the day. We all remember last SummerSlam, and he brought back, basically what we know now as damage control. But before I get into more of my soliloquy, let's just go back to you saying about slapping meat.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Motherfucker, you're the only one who would take that shit the wrong way.
We're just going to do that right there. That's just what we're going to do. But
anyway, that is a
I know what it is, but still, I like how it was for Monday Night Raw. The only thing that I have a complaint about is that titles are doing, hot potato.
Oh,
I'm
God,
definitely not liking that. That's the one thing I will not like. I don't like it from any type of company, whether it's AEW, Impact, Stardom, whoever it is. I don't like when titles keep pushing. The previous Saturday night, you had Cody and the Uso get the belts. Not even 72 hours later, they lost it. But we should have known that, because what happened at NXT's last. Yeah. So we're starting to see a trend here. That seems to be the going thing. Keep the titles moving, keeps people entertained. That only can last so long. But I do like that, the TKO group, Endeavor, basically kicked out Vince McMahon. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely worked. Triple H pretty much was like knighted, like this was Lord of the Rings. It's cool. But give him a full year. 1 full year. Let's talk about this, say November 1st, 2024, and let's see what he could do with it. Because the last time Triple H did this, a lot of people still sit on the sidelines. Some of them are still sitting on the sidelines right now. Karrion Kross, anybody? So Johnny Gargano. Let's see how those are done this time around, because I'm going to be honest with you. I give him a kind of a D grade. He needs improvement. He brought back a lot of people that he had, but he hasn't done anything with them. And what's good with having prospects if you don't use them to build them up or move into something different?
Exactly. And just to kind of sidebar on that, when you brought up Karrion Kross, there was a podcast he was recently on a couple weeks ago where he was asked, how would you feel about going back to NXT to, do work similar to what Becky Lynch is doing, kind of the way that, Dolph Ziggler, when he was still with the company, he went down there, he won the NXT title and everything else. He said that he is 100% open to it, because he says the one thing that he regrets is that he wished he would have had a longer reign as NXT champion and gone against others that were still there. So I honestly think that would be good for him, kind of not a full reset, but just to rejuvenate his character, bring back, that dark character that he had back when he was in NXT and when they tried to bring him up to the main roster the first time before Vince got a hold of his ass.
Yep.
I think that would be good for him. Let him get into a flat out banger with Dragunov. Let them freaking beat the shit out of each other, and then hell, let Karrion Kross win, send him up to the main roster, and let Kross, run NXT for a little while, rebuild his stock, and then go back to the main roster and try something then. Because at this point, I think that's the only way that people are going to start taking him seriously again.
I mean, honestly, I think that having him away would do great. But if he comes back, he needs to go back to his original gimmick that he had with NXT. That's what made him a captivating character. And it didn't hurt that Scarlett was there too. Let's not just not forget that. But that whole entrance, I'm being honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I played the WWE 2K franchise, just for that entrance alone.
Oh yeah,
because Karrion Kross had that thing going for him. Now I could see doing the NXT thing, winning the belt back, and then going back to a program. But I feel no matter which road they take, which highway, whatever it is, it needs to end with this. And I know I'm going to shock a lot of people, so brace yourself. I feel the person that should beat Gunther for that Intercontinental Championship is Karrion Kross.
Really?
I feel it should be him.
You don't think that they should reignite the Dragunov Gunther rivalry with it?
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think
Because they
Dragunov
threw down some bangers in NXT.
They have some bangers, but I don't think Dragunov is ready for that main roster yet. I would put Carmelo and Braun Breaker before Dragunov. I think Dragunov is going to be holding the fort down with NXT for quite some time, so not yet. And we know Gunther eventually has to lose that title, so why not Karrion Kross? Automatically putting the belt on him brings more pieces to him. That'll give him more time on TV. Scarlett can return, get back to that gimmick. Hey, it will work out for him.
Yeah,
but we got to see what happens here, because Gunther's going to lose that belt sooner rather than later. Great, one of the best, if not the best, title reign for the Intercontinental title. Shouts to Honky Tonk Man. But he is the king. So who to give that rub to and set it off for next? It would be Karrion Kross. That would work.
And all I got to say, Triple H, you better do this. You better do it.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Push the button on Karrion Kross, please.
Really, I mean, he really should do it. That'll be one of those things. Remember, he brought these people in, like I said a couple minutes ago. Damage Control came in. Karrion Kross came in with a few others. Johnny Gargano, well, I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But Karrion Kross definitely needs that rub. And who's the best person on the roster to give it to him? Gunther,
yeah, of course. Because as soon as Gunther drops that Intercontinental title, he's getting thrown into a program with Seth Rollins.
Yes.
If he's still holding the title after Crown Jewel, which it kind of has a track record, Saudi, you will see some title changes happening.
Yeah, we all know when it comes, if you don't know how it really goes with Crown Jewel when they go out to Saudi, if you're traveling on the plane to Saudi with the title, 9 times out of 10, you're traveling back to the States without your title. Because there's always some form of a title change there. Let's all remember the great Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
We'll
And
leave it
also,
at-
too, the only way I would be okay with this with Seth Rollins losing is if he was to lose to Drew McIntyre, which is his match for Crown Jewel, because you've got to realize Drew McIntyre carried the company during COVID time, during the Thunderdome time. He won the title to an empty crowd, just monitors, and it did not have the same feeling. Now, this can give him a very close feeling to how WrestleMania feels, just by how grand they make the Saudi shows feel. So I honestly think, I don't want to call it a consolation prize. I want to call it more of a second chance of being able to actually be in front of a crowd and win a world title. So I would be okay with him winning it here, but I could tell you this, Drew McIntyre would be a transitional champion. He would only hold it for maybe a month or two, and then it would go to somebody else, or else Seth Rollins would win it back in a rematch. That's how I would see that.
Well, I mean, honestly, that could be one of those things with it. Drew does seem to be the biggest contender besides Shinsuke. So, I mean, they are keeping up good with it and seeing how much Seth's back can take. WWE, can you not have Sealy Posturepedics down there during that match during Fastlane, and Seth crazy selling it when he fell on a damn mattress? Like, let's be real here. I mean, nobody bumps that high coming down from something that's steel. Let's just be real here. We all went to science class. We know how that works.
Yes, and
But
when you see it literally like cave in like a mattress does, that shit's 3 kinds of fake. He did not take no damn bump.
exactly. So, hey, it is what it is. But no, I would like to see that happen. Hopefully, with Crown Jewel coming up, and then Survivor Series. Now we're moving into that special season for WWE, and this will be the first one under the TKO group. So let's see if you know they basically pull no stops. They open up the wallet. They don't pay the luxury tax. If you know, you know, and let them do what they're supposed to do. So,
Yes,
give him 1
sir.
year. Let's not go too crazy yet. Let's see what he could do when he has a good arsenal of TKO group behind him, meaning Triple H.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on here. DJ, looks like we're going to be getting into your favorite thing here. We're going to be jumping into AEW Dynamite. We're going to go ahead and jump into our recap. So let's go ahead and take it away there, sir. What did we look at this week on Dynamite?
Well, Dynamite actually was kind of sort of in your hometown, had a hometown feel for Texas, as Dynamite was doing their thing as they normally do on TBS. Now, show did get started with, of course, Penta going up against Mr. Switchblade himself, Jay White. Now, if you guys been paying attention for the past couple of weeks, you know that Jay White is taking on MJF for that AEW World Championship at Full Gear, which is, of course, at the Forum, the Kia Forum, that is, in just a little bit over a month. So, who got the victory? No surprise, it was the Switchblade himself. It continues the storyline going into that pay-per-view I just mentioned, and it was a pretty good match to start off the show. Now, the main event was a battle royal of sorts, and it was for that thing that MJF carries on his finger here. Yes, it's that time of the year for that AEW Diamond Ring. 12 men entered, only one was left. During the night, you kind of had a feeling who was going to be the final two. Somebody was going to be rock hard, pause, on that. And then, of course, you had somebody that just loves to rap. That was Matt Caster. Those were the last two in the ring for this battle royal, and Juice always wins, right? So Juice got the victory, won the battle royal. He'll be taking on MJF next week for that diamond ring. Of course, it's going to be in Philly, so I expect some form of a street fight to break out during that matchup. There was an altercation between MJF and Jay White. Of course, MJF did not get the upper hand once again, and Jay White still has the Triple B in his possession. So let's see how that goes. The biggest thing that came out of Dynamite tonight, and it hurt a lot of people, us old folks here on the podcast, it definitely hit hard because you remember this guy from WCW Saturday Night, from Venice Beach, California, Mr. Blonde Hair. Now it's definitely not blonde hair. It is definitely the man they call Sting. And to what we all thought it would be, unfortunately, it was. Sting will be retiring after Revolution in 2024. Now, for AEW, that is their first major pay-per-view of the new year. There was no word on what the match would be, but I have a feeling it can go one of two ways. Either it'll be a final match along with Darby Allin in a classic tag match, or it could be a legend to have the final match with Sting. Now, you can start thinking all the possibilities of who it could be. Let's just hope it's not Ric Flair. Let's just hope it's not Ric Flair. Ric Flair is like 400 years old. He can't take another bump. It will just be horrible.
No,
but yes,
it better not.
No, I'll take anybody else at this point except Ric Flair. But nonetheless, the Stinger, the Crow, whichever way you want to call him, he will be hanging it up at Revolution. So definitely let us know on social media who you think he should be going up against, because that is a whole catalog of people that could come out of nowhere to take on Sting. Or maybe it could be one of the people that were just released from WWE. Could be a Ziggling good time.
Well, I mean, he's been talking. There's been rumors about him jumping over.
So we could see what happens with that. Of course, now we're going to be talking about the women's title in AEW, which was honestly the match of the night tonight. Of course, Hikaru Shida taking on her former teacher, Emma Sakura. Hope I said that right. Don't kill me, fans there. But this was a good match from start to finish. It was an eliminator match. So if Sakura did get the victory, she would have a title shot with her, probably at Full Gear. But that did not happen because Shida did get the victory over Sakura. Very good match in and out of the ring. Definitely enjoyed it. But you do know Collision is on Saturday and it's being followed by Battle of the Belts. That's right, Battle of the Belts 8 was announced, and there are 3 big matches already on there. The TBS title will be on the line against with Chris Statlander taking on Willow Nightingale. And for the International Championship, you have, of course, 2-time. That's right, 2-time. Exactly. Orange Cassidy, he's defending the title up against the winner on Rampage. I believe that's either Kip Sabian, Brother Jay, or even Mr. John Silver. I like any one of those 3 in a match. It'll definitely have different strides with it, different styles, but I'm going with Kip Sabian being.
Okay. They could do something completely different with this. They already went one way with Orange Cassidy winning it the first time. They could go a completely different way. This is going to be my dark horse pick. Let John Silver win to go against Orange Cassidy.
That will be a good match. That was going to be my second choice because I feel Kip Sabian, of course, being the heel, Orange Cassidy being, the face. That's what they'll go with.
But John Silver has been going back and forth with Evil Uno and all of them in the Dark Order. They've been flip-flopping between being heels and being baby faces. So I could see that. That would definitely be my dark horse pick for Battle of the Belts, Orange Cassidy versus John Silver.
No, that definitely would be good. Either one of those matches I would love to see. So just let y'all know, you basically have 3 hours of AEW programming on Saturday night because you have Battle of the Belts and Collision. So that should definitely be fun. Not a lot more going on with the show. You did have a rebuttal from Edge over Christian's comments last week. To be a surprise, they're just milking this as it continues getting to Full Gear. I do expect Edge to have a match probably against Luchasaurus and or Nick Wayne. in some type of specialty match going into Full Gear. Don't think the Christian match is going to happen just yet. They're going to try to milk that maybe to Revolution or even Double or Nothing, which
For
some
all
consider
they
to
can
be,
get.
yeah, for all that they can get. And probably, as we all know, Double or Nothing is considered their WrestleMania in some sorts on their end. So we have to see with that. But pretty good show. Went pretty well. Of course, the funny thing from it is the new movie from Miss Toni Storm, Timeless. Toni Storm, that continues to keep going. One of the best things they got going in AEW. And Matt's Caster, we knew it was going to happen. You know, when he has his rhyme, when he comes out there, he talks about something personal. And let's just say he talked about Jada Pinkett Smith. We're going to leave it at that. You just have to hear what he said
Jesus.
there. I felt it. I loved it. Perfect. So Matt Caster is definitely paying attention to the culture, and it definitely got a big pop from everyone in the arena tonight. So
Will Smith's gonna try to sue the man.
no, I think it's Jada. I don't know. You know, I even heard some rumors that Jada Pinkett Smith is the one that runs this whole podcast. That's what I heard, because she's just been lies after lies after lies. Like, I don't know.
If she running shit, then she needs to increase our pay. Shit.
I mean, I heard she does all that. She likes wrestling now. She said that she was the AEW champion before the AEW was even thought of. She was in the car with Tupac when he got shot. Like, just so many things she's been lying about. So.
Oh yeah, I was wondering where that message came from, where someone told me to walk up and slap the shit out of Tony Khan.
Yeah, exactly.
I was wondering where that came from.
And he just said, keep the bald-headed woman name out your mouth. That's exactly what was said there.
Keep her name out your mouth.
But you see, now that I just said it, now I just want to watch, you know, like G.I. Jane.
Oh shit!
Too soon? Too soon?
Yeah, a little.
A little. I know she's trying to promote her book and everything, but promoting lies, I don't feel
Peter over here. Oh God, yes, the silent film style acting is so hot.
Yes, it is. I mean, I'm falling in love with the whole thing, and you don't hear a damn thing, but it just works so perfectly. Excuse me. If you don't know, a lot of the silent films were big back in the early 1900s. So her playing off of that with the black and white, of course, with the unfortunate RJ City, it's been working perfectly. So they keep that up. Toni Storm is definitely going to be one of the biggest names in AEW going into 2024. So
hands down.
Hands
and I
down.
love it. And you know what? I'm happy for her. Her character's grown organically. It is becoming a hit with not just the fans, but with the other wrestlers in the back and with management and with AEW. So good for her. I'm glad that she's doing so well. And Peter, you need to put it back in your pants, sir.
I'll just invite Charlie Chapman if it meant to get next to her.
He needs to put it back in his pants. He needs to put the little pink rocket away before he gets his ass in trouble.
He said pink rocket. Well, you know that you do remember this song back in the 90s from this group Blink 182, right? All the
Why didn't I was thinking about that shit too. The second he said Blink 182, I was like, I bet this motherfucker's going to say all the small things. Oh, goddamn.
And definitely did. So it is something to behold. Let's see what happens. But as you can see, she already has fans all across the board. And it's a really good storyline. No BS with it. It's a very good storyline. I want more of it on AEW program.
Give me more.
So, all right. So that is it. Let us know how you felt about AEW Dynamite tonight, and simply let us know on social media at the Wrestling Revival Podcast on IG, and of course on X until Elon Musk changes the names again. It will be at TWRP_official. Hey, look, you don't know what's going on nowadays. We might wake up tomorrow. It might be called Pluto for all we know. I don't know. I just don't know. So definitely check us out on those. Make sure you are liking and following us. I'm giving you a hint. Liking and following can lead to something very big by the end of the year. So make sure you are doing that. So make sure you do that. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, we talked about AEW Dynamite, and it's funny because AEW Dynamite actually let it be known that the premiere of the music video, the remix for Mr. Swerve Strickland, is going to be premiering on YouTube this Friday afternoon. So definitely check it out. You do have Prince Nana in there doing his, doing that thing in there and doing his, getting sturdy out there. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. But there's also another reason that brings us to this, because we're going to talk about AEW and music here, because they're making some noise, guys, and it's not what you think, and it really is a big freaking deal. This has not happened in over 2 decades. What could I be possibly talking about? I'm talking about AEW and the Grammys coming together. I know it sounds very crazy, but that's exactly what's happening here. For your consideration, AEW, they had the AEW music division. Mr. Scorpio Sky is going to be involved with it. The Grammys are in February. So AEW, for their consideration for not one, but 2 categories during the Grammys, their music featuring Scorpio Sky and quite a few other artists is being considered for a Grammy for Best Rap Performance, one of the biggest categories of the night, and also for Best, I believe, Lyrics for video. I don't know the exact name of it, but it is going down for 2 of them. So congratulations to AEW and Scorpio Sky. This hasn't been done in over 20 plus years since the WWF at the time. Now WWE had their volume music.
Series.
Yes. Which, had the green logo at one point, then the red logo, then the white logo. Definitely had a few. But Peter's here saying, truth care, truth brings. I'll take it. One lift, your ride. Best trip always will be at my show. Wait, Peter, stop. Just stop, Peter.
Peter needs to stop. He needs to stop. He's being a super fan right now.
Yeah, because see, I could say something, Peter, about you and something that blinks. We're gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave you alone for the night.
Oh no.
I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna leave him alone.
You trying to get us demonetized over here, aren't you, sir?
Hey, no, he's talking about Blink Fitness. That's what he's talking about. Blink Fitness. Y'all can Google it. I just didn't make that up. There is a Blink Fitness out there. So, but shout outs to Peter, one of the regulars here on the podcast. But what do you think about it, Cyber? AEW doing something that hasn't been done in over 2 decades, up for consideration for a Grammy?
Well, here's my thing with it, and you know what? I will flat out say it like this: good on them, because they are going back to what WWE used to do back in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is they're allowing their wrestlers, they're allowing artists to actually be artists, actually come up with their own original music, whether it's for their entrances, whether it's for them to do a project on their own. They are doing that naturally, exactly like the WWE was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And by doing that, they're seeing the success that the WWE saw when they did it, which means they now have a Grammy nomination. They have multiple Grammy nominations now. So congratulations to AEW. It's well deserved. And I think that as time goes on, AEW, do not take this away from the wrestlers, because this is putting light on you. This is putting light on them, and y'all are both going to reap the benefits of it. So keep on letting them do it. Continue it, and it is going to grow, and it's going to become bigger and better than what WWE had back when they were doing that.
No, definitely. This is a big achievement for them to be even considered. Let me just explain to y'all who may not know much about the music industry and how it works. There are many artists that send in their material for a Grammy nomination, but only a select few, maybe up to 5, maybe 6, depending on the category, actually get nominated for a Grammy. And for this to be in Best Rap Performance and Best Song Written for Visual Media, those are the two categories it's up for consideration. For the song Up in the Clouds, of course, Scorpio Sky's basically theme song or story, that is a very big deal. So shout out to Tony Khan and everybody there. That's a definitely nice pat on the back, because AEW music wasn't really thought of, but during the show Dynamite tonight, you heard quite a bit about it with Swerve and Prince Nana, and now the news with Scorpio Sky. AEW seems to be slowly chugging along, getting into more of that pop culture spectrum like WWE has been for countless years. So shout out to them. It was a very good job there.
Oh yeah, big props to them. Congratulations. Y'all deserve it. Just keep on letting them do their thing over there.
Nah, they
So
go.
let's go ahead and move on to our last segment of the evening. God dang, this asshole. And of course, this kind of connects to our title of this episode. Mr. DJ Notorious actually went to Comic-Con, had his son with him, but he was still able to have a little bit of fun in the process, including
It's okay. You can say it. It's okay.
Including getting a picture with the doctor, Miss Britt Baker. And I told him, I was like, make sure you give me a picture. And here I thought it was just going to be like an autograph picture, just a picture of her by herself. But no, this asshole over here, which I understand why he did it, but also I think he did it on purpose too. It's this one right here.
That's right.
And what to my surprise, I tell him, I bet you forgot about my damn picture. And here I thought it was going to be one autographed by her, just a photo by herself. Hell no. He is sending me one that has his ass in it too. That exact same picture. I'm getting a copy of that too. And I'm like, oh, this asshole.
Yes.
This asshole.
Yes. It's nothing but love, guys.
Yeah, it's nothing but love, but still. I'm like, man, got my hopes up.
Hopes and dreams. But, I got to say, because this was my first Comic-Con. This was literally done by Little Notorious himself. He swindled me, y'all. He wanted to spend some time with his old man, but he did it around the dates of Comic-Con. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm the biggest comic book, Marvel, anime person, but I know the bare basics. So it was also his first, so we got time to spend with each other. Seeing everything there is top notch. If you have never been to a Comic-Con, you definitely want to go. Now, I did take the picture there with Miss Britt Baker, DMD. She was definitely a great sight to see. Very nice, very bubbly, no BS. She wasn't putting on the front for anybody. She was really, really nice. So shout outs to her. But I have to tell you, there were other people there, Cyber.
I know. I
I
heard.
will say this, just full disclosure. This is Saturday morning around 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So walking down there with Little Notorious, he's just spending all the money in the world, buying all the Funko Pops and all this stuff. We hang a right on the sales floor, and I look to my left, and I'm like, why the fuck do I see Matt Hardy? Like, oh, okay. Matt Hardy's here. Good. Jeff must be somewhere around, but okay. Then I look to the next table. All I see is money, 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 money. And it wasn't Mercedes Renardo. It was Ted DiBiase with the belt in tow. I know what
He's got to pay the IRS back, so he's all up in these Comic-Cons.
Exactly. Then, of course, after that, we know him as the narcissist. We know him as the great American guy who tried to body slam Yokozuna. I'm not going to say the other part. It might still make some people mad, but it was Lex Luger. He was also there. And then somebody that Cyber, personally, was actually there. Of course, you saw him down there. Shouts to the South, RCW, and all that good stuff. It was Mr. Damn himself, Ron Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you was to ask me, Cyber, out of all the 4 people I just mentioned, who would be in the best shape to actually work a match in whatever promotion? Who do you think I'll say was the
Well,
best?
I've seen all the other ones, and one is currently active, so I would have to say it would have to be the man, damn, Ron Simmons, that could probably still step in the ring if he absolutely wanted to and be in a match.
You would be absolutely right, because he did look the best. Like, he could just go on ready for Raw on Monday night. Now, they had a crowd, obviously, so did not stop off to get a, autograph. However, full transparency, y'all, called up the good guy down there in Texas, but this mother didn't answer his phone.
I told you what I was doing. My other job had me going.
Answer his phone. You would think, because he knew I was going to be at Comic-Con. So if I'm calling you and I text you all those wrestlers, you stop what you're doing. This is not a test. This is not a drill. This is the real thing. And you message me back or you call me back. Because then who knows? Could have talked to Ron Simmons for a good 5 minutes. Who knows? You could have talked about Matt Hardy and just said delete, delete, delete the whole time. You could have talked about Ted DiBiase and his IRS stuff that he has to deal with. Whatever the case may be.
Money, 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 money.
But you know something? If he owes the IRS all that money, how come he don't give up that championship belt?
Because that's a good question.
That I would think your problems would be over. But nonetheless, it was good. And then, of course, as soon as we walked in, I look to my right and I see a bunch of cameras. I get in front because, I'm notorious. I do that. And I saw the limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling and dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun, Ric Flair. Now, Ric Flair, I don't know. He must be around 200 years old, but he looked like he was just 40 standing up there Saturday morning at Comic-Con. He was doing his whole big press tour and everything here in New York. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. And he was there bright and early and probably the most jolliest out of anybody in the area, still doing his classic stuff. I thought he was going to take off his jacket and do the elbow drop, but he did not. I guess he didn't have no drinks in the system just yet, but it was good to see everybody there. And of course, Sting, who we just talked about earlier tonight on Dynamite, having his retirement, he was there signing autographs. Mercedes Varnado, of course, with New Japan, she was there signing autographs. So if you want to see a lot of wrestlers in one place, I know there's other conventions going on throughout the year, but Comic-Con is the biggest one. Definitely make sure you are in New York for next October 16th through the 20th, because I guarantee you AEW, All Elite, whatever you want to call them, New Japan will heavily be represented at the next Comic-Con.
And DJ and I have already talked about it, and it looks like someone from the South is going to go ahead and make his way up east for next year for Comic-Con. So it looks like we might possibly, for around that time next year, we might have a live episode of the podcast going on. Woo!
That would be amazing. So
in person, literally a Yankee and an Astro in the same room talking shit to each other and seeing if we don't get violent with each other talking this shit.
Oh, but see, here's the thing, y'all. He can get as much as crazy as he wants to, but remember, you're gonna be in New York, my hometown. Just remember that, my hometown. This ain't Texas.
All I got to say is, down in Houston, Astro fans, Astros themselves, we're built different. We don't give a shit.
Wow, that's how you feel, huh?
Yes, that is how I feel. And I am feeling some type of way because of it. So yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, just when that happens, just remember.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Man, this man's already trying to go at it already.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm so sick of these people. You know, oh!
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
That one. Still get a kick out of that one. So
Yeah, right.
So
But
look out for us next year.
next year, man, we're starting to do bigger things. We're branching out. A lot of things are in the works right now, so just keep an eye out. Make sure you're following us on those socials. Make sure you're doing everything that we ask, because you never know, we might pop up in a city near you. You may not even know it until it happens.
Wow, yeah. See, we're dropping hints, and you guys you'll catch on.
And like we were saying back before we announced the show, have you been paying attention?
That's the running theme here. So
there's always a theme, because DJ knows how I work. When it comes to getting the show ready for our weekly episodes, he knows I go off of a theme. It doesn't matter if it's obvious or if it's subtle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're paying attention, you're going to catch what I'm saying. So let's see. What do you think about the whole Mercedes fan moment?
Yes, there was seems like also at Comic-Con over the weekend here in New York. Also MJF was there as well. But for Mercedes, seems like there was a issue somewhat with a fan. I'm just not going to speak on it. I'll just leave it at that. If you want to find out what happens, you could definitely check the socials and you'll see exactly what occurred.
Yes.
Like that.
All right, guys. So that is pretty much it for this episode of the Wrestling Revival podcast. Again, just to kind of do our little victory lap. First and foremost, make sure you support the podcast. Make sure you go to our merch store, pick up a hashtag God damn.
See.
Okay, the first one wasn't as bad as that one. And you know why I'm tripping over your shit? Is because I'm tired of your shit. Okay, so it's hashtag Notorious Approved shirt, the living room free in your head, and also the official The Wrestling Revival podcast shirt. You can go and pick those up at bonfire.com/store/The Wrestling Revival. Also, big shout outs to our sponsor, ultisubs.com. When you go and check them out, make sure you use the discount code Revival Army to get 10% off of your order. It helps us. It also helps you by you getting a discount on some of the newest products they have out, including their new, I think you said it was a 64-ounce metal shaker.
Yes.
So that is huge. You know what? I'm a fat boy. I might wind up picking that up because I drink a lot of goddamn water. I might pick that shit up for myself. And also, guys, last thing is, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Myself, as an Astros fan, Mr. Yankee sitting at home on the couch. We appreciate y'all tuning in as always. I know that hit him in a little bit of a sore spot, and I don't give a shit. Go fuck a goat. Anyway.
You know what? No,
thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it.
Nope.
We will see you next week. And could we have a possible calling someone to the front of the congregation next week? I'm not sure.
Yes. And I know that person personally.
Yeah. Oh, really? You do?
I do. Because see, what's funny is some people want to have fun with these things now, but I can guarantee you guys next week you will see, guarantee, you will see someone on your screen right now very upset. And I'll give you a hint. It's not the one from New York.
I seriously doubt that. I'm
Same.
smiling from ear to ear right now because you're over here saying, "Oh, well, they need to win. They need to win," and it looks like they're doing exactly that. So it looks like they're about to wrap it up right now. They're in the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th, and they're leading right now. So
yeah, next week, y'all, definitely Cyber will be eating his words badly. He will be now known as Can't Get Right because, yeah, that will be it for him.
talking about can't get right. When was the last time that the Yankees actually made it to the ALCS? Oh, wait. Tell you, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
2019. Yeah. And who they get sent home by?
The team that's about to lose by next week. So it's okay. And remember that I'll let y'all guys know too. There's a bet attached to this. So
he's not ready for it. He's not ready for it. That's all I got to say is he's not ready for it. It's exactly like these Ranger fans. They ain't ready for it. They want the smoke, and you know what? I think they woke somebody up by trying to say that they were gonna sweep. Well, Altuve ain't having that shit. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We will see you next week. We will be getting ready for the funeral service of whatever team does not advance to the World Series. I don't think so. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have yourself a good night, and we will see y'all next week.
I saw Britt Baker. Did you?
Did you what?
I saw Britt Baker. Did you?